of the bye week, we took a deep dive into Elon football, really to start the week and from a self scout standpoint and figure out, hey, what are we doing well and how are people attacking us and what do we look like? So started the week that way. Getting healthy is important during a bye week, so try to do a good job taking care of our players and getting some guys back on their feet. We're a relatively young team still, so skill development was important for us on Wednesday and Thursday, developing our position skills as well as our skills from a special team standpoint, and then got a head start on Rhode Island.
Let's start on the injury part. Obviously, after 9 weeks of the schedule, there's a lot of guys banged up. Are there any guys, maybe key guys that you haven't had for the last couple of weeks that you might get back here for this last 3 week stretch?
Yeah, we've got a couple guys that we're trying to get back from injury, particularly um, Mari Dalton. He's a receiver who's been productive for us in his career here at Elon, and been trying to get him um, back and going again here for the final stretch of this season. So he'd be a guy that we'd love to have on the field with us on Saturday.
Let's take a look at your team, both from let's start with the offensive perspective. Through 9 games, certainly been a lot of highlights, starting with your young quarterback, who's been outstanding all year long. But you guys have had some success both running the ball in the air and through the air. What do you like about the way your offense is played, and then what's kind of going to be the focus of these last 3 games that you like to see get a little better?
Yeah, we have definitely flashed offensively from an explosive play standpoint. We've been able to push the ball down the field. Landon is, I mean, he's very talented. He's athletic, but he's still a redshirt freshman. A reminder there. So, he's continuing to develop and get better and doing a better job with the intermediate passing game. That's an area where we've really focused, try to become more efficient as some people have protected the top of the defense and keeping the ball in front of them. We've got to do a better job and be more efficient, with the intermediate and underneath passing game. So, um, I feel good about who we are offensively and our players and our growth and our development. The consistency is where we really need to be better and sustain drives, all 4 quarters of the game is where I want to see us improve here in the final 3 games.
Let's flip over to the other side and the defense. A lot of new faces coming into the year, and some of those guys have certainly excelled. Sort of the same question: what do you like about the way they've played? What would you like to see get better?
Yeah, so we're doing a real nice job against the run, with the exception of late in the game against Maine, where they got away from us a couple times. I feel good about how we're fitting the run. Early in the season, we were giving up explosive plays over the top defensively, um, and I feel like we've improved in that area. The balls that have been thrown down the field and completed, they've been outstanding catches and contested catches as opposed to guys running free in our secondary. So I'm pleased with the improvements that we've made on the back end from that standpoint. So I feel like we're playing good defense, and again, young on defense also. So a lot of first year starters on this football team. So it's week 10 really now for us. So we're not first year starters anymore. Played 9 football games. So really looking forward to see us take that next step here coming off the bye week.
Questions more from Bob. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, guys. Tony, were you able to relax at all this weekend, or what was that like for you without a game, or were you just anxious to get back
Yeah,
there
had a
yesterday?
little bit of time off. We all needed it, players and coaches. So Friday and Saturday had a chance to be off and charge the battery and watch some football, be a fan for a day. That was fun to watch some good ball.
Gotcha. You mentioned the injury situation. I know you had some guys at practice last week that maybe weren't going full tilt. Um, but do you also have some guys that maybe over this last few games you'll be able to get in that maybe haven't played yet? Just, do you can use that time? Is that a possibility? Some newcomers out there?
Yeah, for sure, Bob. Great question. We do. And so, what you saw at practice last week, Wednesday, we kept some guys out we really didn't want guys grinding through a practice during a bye week. Some of the guys who have experience, we don't need them to limp through a Wednesday of a bye week. So, Wednesday really was a developmental emphasis in practice in the team periods, getting some of our guys who are twos or threes to play some ball and they're competing for opportunities in these next three games to see who is the next man in, but then also of our freshman class and redshirt guys, hey, who's ready to play in 3 or 4 games? And we've had some freshmen get in throughout the season and trying to keep them at that 4 game threshold so we can retain their red shirt. Being a developmental program, that's real important to us. But yeah, so there were some guys fighting for some opportunities to prove to us that they're ready to go out and play in some football games here down the stretch, whether it's offensively, defensively, or on our special teams units.
Gotcha. One more thing. Jamel Williams or Jimmy L. Williams, was he a guy that you were looking at when he was coming out of high school, or how did that relationship kind of build?
Yeah, so he's right here in our backyard in Durham. So we were aware of him and evaluated him out of high school. That was a year when we didn't actually take a running back in that class, I believe, is how it worked out. Um, in our scholarship plan, we want to have, 4 running backs on scholarship in the program. And so if we have 4, then we may not take a scholarship running back in that class. I believe that was the case when we recruited Jamil. But we love him, man. He is a great kid. He makes us a better football team on and off the field. Um, he's talented. He runs hard. He can wear people out late in the football game. He's a great human being. So absolutely love him, and so glad we've got him in our program right now.
And I think you mentioned this previously this year, but since he was banged up there throughout the spring, you didn't really get to see him at full tilt until the summer, I'm thinking, right?
Yeah, you're right. So he was with us in the spring, but recovering from an injury and a procedure in the off season. So really didn't have a chance to see what he can do. And he is at his best when it is live football. Like if we're just in shorts and running around, he's good, but put the pads on and try to tackle him, he's different. So yeah, it was great. In preseason, he started to flash in some contact drills, and you can see him. He runs behind his pads. He's got great vision. He's a really good football player.
Great. Thanks, Tony.
Thank you.
Tony, let's look ahead to Saturday. A really good Rhode Island team that you're facing, 7-2, 5-0 in the league. A lot of familiar faces, especially on that offense. What are some of the challenges they present for you?
Yeah, really good football team, strong veteran leadership, and impact players really in all 3 phases. And they're well coached. Coach Fleming's done just a terrific job there, recruiting and retaining players. Um, Very sound schemes in all 3 phases of the game. They're well coached. Um, they've they've shown poise late in games to be able to win, late in football games and finish with points and finish with stops. They don't beat themselves. They're a real good football team.
What impresses you about a guy like Marquise Buchanan, who I think before the bye week was leading all of FCS in receiving yards? What makes him so tough to stop?
Yeah, he's got a great combination of size, body quickness, catch radius. He's got a talented quarterback throwing him the ball, and having Greg Gaines on the other side too, like having other productive, pass catchers, receivers, and offensive weapons um, really helps Marquise as well. But he's a real talented football player. Makes contested catches, can get in and out of the routes. He's a good player.
And then the last, before I let you go, you guys have finished strong in the past few years. It's always, but you head into this last 3 weeks having dropped 3 straight. A couple of them were really tough ones to take. What's the message to this team to try to finish strong again this year?
Yeah, we got to finish what we started. Really, we're playing for a lot right now, but most importantly, to be 1-0 this week. So having a nationally ranked team coming into Rhodes Stadium, we're excited to be back at Rhodes. It's been a while since we've been home, so to be able to host a nationally ranked team and an opportunity to try to go get a big CAA win in front of our people is important to us, and our guys are looking forward to it and putting the work in here this week.
All right, Tony. Thanks so much for your time today, and